This week on UND Insider Weekly, football comes up with a strong win over Northern Colorado to finish their season. Men's hockey visits the reigning NCHC regular season champ St. Cloud State. And men's basketball comes up just short against South Dakota State. Plus, men's hockey assistant coach Dane Jackson visits with us in the Coach's Corner to talk about this weekend series against Omaha. And a special bonus Coach's Corner with football's defensive coordinator Eric Schmidt sitting down to wrap up the season. All this week on UND Insider Weekly. Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to UND Insider Weekly alongside Brad Schlossman and Tom Miller from the Grand Forks Herald and Paul Ralston from UND Athletics. I'm Tim Hennessy. Gentlemen, happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you, Tim.
The best
gobble,
of
gobble.
the season. Huh?
Gobble, gobble.
Yeah, okay. Wow. Tom was in Greeley, Colorado. Who knows where you were. Brad was in St. Cloud with me for UND hockey. Let's start with that one, Brad. On Friday night, not everybody on the same page, I think, was the bottom line for me anyway.
Yeah, and I thought one of the big keys to Friday night is they came out and actually the first 5 minutes had a really good start to the game,
real
and
good.
they didn't have anything to show for it, and St. Cloud ends up scoring the first goal of the game. And you know the way they played those first few minutes, you always hope you can build a lead, but that didn't happen, and the Huskies got a lot better from there, and UND did not get better from there. So that was the tale of Friday night.
Yeah, it was an interesting game because it seemed like St. Cloud State used the big rink to their advantage. Not that North Dakota doesn't practice on one, but I thought UND didn't play the type of game you got to play on a big rink to be successful. I bet they did a little chasing when you can't really do that in that size of
And at the end of the game, I thought about how many times Johnny Brodzinski shot the puck, and he's one of the best goal scorers in the league, if not the best goal scorer in the league. And I looked, and there were 16 shot attempts. And if he shoots the puck 16 times, you're probably going to lose the game because he's going to score a few of them. And the ones he scored on actually weren't his best chances. I mean, he put one off of Steph Patton's back, and then he had a backdoor shot for the other one. But he's a really good player, and he had a lot of time and space on Friday and Saturday. He did not. He had one shot attempt in the first two periods or two. So UND obviously did not give St. Cloud State a lot of time and space Saturday.
I thought we lost a real good goaltending effort by Zane McIntyre in that first game. He was outstanding. I think 18 saves maybe in the second period, somewhere in that area. One went off somebody's rear end, one went off a skate, and the other was batted out of midair at the side of the net. So when you get a goaltending performance like that against a good team, you'd hope that you'd get a win. The team couldn't pick him up. They did pick him up on Saturday night, though, don't you think?
Yeah, probably not his greatest performance on Saturday. I know, knowing Zane, the first goal he gave up was a snapshot from the dot. It's a guy had a clean look from there, but knowing Zane, he likes to stop those type of shots when he has a clean look at it. And Paul Adu is the D-man on the 2-on-1, and he took away the pass and said, "I'll let you have the shot." And the other one was just a bad angle shot that maybe surprised him a little bit there, but. As you said, the team picked him up, scored 3 goals, Trevor Olsen 2 of them, and that's it.
I got explanation on that goal from the bad angle. It was right on the goal line, from the goal line.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know you could score from there.
Well, I didn't think you could. It's difficult.
2 inches in front of
That's what it is. He said somehow they teach goaltenders now in those situations how they stand, whatever they do. He said there's about 2 or 3 inches that you can find a spot up top, and you happen to find that spot.
He put it there, and
so apparently Zane was where he was supposed to be and doing what he was supposed to be, and there it goes with that. And then, of course, as you mentioned, Trevor Olsen on his 21st birthday scores a couple of goals.
Yeah.
And, as Coach Hackstall said, "Well, nice birthday present, 2 empty net goals."
Yeah,
he was set up pretty nicely on both.
He was, both of them. He had really good looks at, but that line, all freshman line. Since Nick Schmaltz went out with an injury, no other lines had scored a goal except for the top line. That was huge to get scoring from another line. That line had 2 of them. Brendan O'Donnell, a different guy on another line, had 1. So they finally got some scoring from outside sources, and not surprisingly, they won the game.
Brendan O'Donnell played like he thought he might have some amends to make after
he took
the
a penalty.
night.
It took a penalty the coaching staff's not going to be happy about. He came back and played really well Saturday.
It was a good win. Split at St. Cloud State, never harmful this week in Nebraska, Omaha, of course. And the football team was in Greeley against Northern Colorado, and I shouldn't say continues to amaze, Tom, but I mean maybe the way and the manner in which it happened in a 33-14 thrashing of Northern Colorado, huh?
Well, if you look at the history of that series, so many close games, characterized by late field goals, last-second stops. And then this UND football team doesn't win big. 13-10 is their kind of game. They want to shrink the game. They want to play great defense. They hadn't been explosive offensively. And then the last 2 weeks now, we've seen a product that we hadn't seen for the first, X number of weeks. They've started to run the football. Jared Garman, his performance down the stretch was pretty remarkable and surprising. And they absolutely took it to Northern Colorado. And Northern Colorado didn't have a lot of fight back in them.
What I found interesting too was the last couple of weeks, North Dakota took a lead against Northern Arizona.
Lost it.
Yeah, first opportunity they had to take a lead because they got possession of the ball right away. They go down, they score. This time they don't relinquish it. They just kept building from there. Pretty remarkable just how this season has progressed basically, where North Dakota seemed like in every game this year they were trailing. Finally, towards the end of the season, they started to take leads. They had to learn how to play with the lead. And then finally in their final game, they go out, get a lead, never look back, which is pretty impressive. I guess the way this team progressed through the season.
Well, put a cap on it for us, will you, Paul? I'll put it this way. I thought when I looked at the schedule, start the season, all things considered, 3 wins would have been a good season. 5 wins, real good season. What's your take?
I think 5 wins is definitely a good amount, and you consider there was a couple swing games in there too that could have went either way. So I think Bubba and his coaching staff got the players that they needed to get to buy in, and I think it shows that they're all kind of pulling in the direction that they want here so far. There's still a long ways to go. They got to build depth and talent reserves and build at some positions, but trending in the right direction. And if you could just go simply on wins and losses, 5 not bad for year 1 in the Bubba era.
Maybe the good thing, Tom, is I don't think Bubba's surprised.
No, I think I said it last week. The fact that they have finished the season with not a lot on the line, the way they have, shows that Bubba kind of has the attention of this team, and you got to get fired up to play those games, and that comes to the coaching staff a lot, down the stretch, and the way they finish it, that's got to be encouraging for this group.
How about basketball? You were at Frost Arena is where you were. I knew that's where you were. Can you shoot a free throw? Can anybody shoot a free throw? But that's been plaguing Brian's teams for a long time, hasn't it?
It has. I don't know necessarily. What's amazing about it is you come to practice, and not everyone comes to practice, but you'll see them shoot them before they're tired, after doing running when they're tired, and you'll see them make these free throws in practice. So it's really inexplicable, like how because I'm sure the coaching staff is like, how does this work?
They're 306th in the country.
Yeah.
in free throws.
And what's so crazy about that is that the last 2 times North Dakota's been to Brookings, South Dakota at Frost Arena, they probably had their best 2 chances to walk out with a W. They haven't won there since 1995, and that's a long time since Coach Nagy took over coaching the Jacks, and you just feel so bad because they've been so close the last 2 times and then just haven't been able to dig it out. It's tough, but at the same time, I was very much encouraged by what North Dakota showed in a lot of different areas. Number 1, Eston Tyler, Tom, I know we've talked about him, what he's going to add to this team. Pretty impressive opening performance for North Dakota.
Well, and they needed a little bit more scoring punch. Obviously, when you lose all those shots from those seniors that left, you needed a little bit of offense. And I thought that was kind of apparent even in the exhibition game against Mayville State, is that they needed somebody who could provide a little bit more of a scoring threat. And Eston Tyler obviously provided that. Might be a guy that they're going to have to look at to take some late game shots, because I think that's still something that's going to be sorted out here, is who in crunch time, who's taking the big shot for this team.
A couple of quick notes. UND volleyball team lost in the second round of the Big Sky Conference tournament. The UND women's basketball team went to Towson State, WNIT Consolation, and won a couple of games there as well. And the UND women's hockey team came up with a tie and a win over the Ohio State University. Coming up, men's hockey has had a solid start to the season, and assistant coach Dane Jackson will join us in the Coach's Corner. That's next.
This Thanksgiving, what will you remember? Will you be watching your favorite team win? Will you score the winning touchdown? Will you thank God for moments with loved ones? Will you be eating Grandma's famous stuffing? This Thanksgiving, we choose to not open our doors so our customers and associates can spend time with family. So what will you remember? Happy Thanksgiving from all of us at Shields.
Cities Area Transit. We go where you go.
Did you know that riding the city bus is free for UND and Northland students?
I ride the bus so I don't have to find a parking spot, and then I'm always within an easy walking distance to all of my classes.
I'm going green, so I ride my bike everywhere. But when the weather turns bad, I take the bus. And why not? It's free.
Cities Area Transit. Enjoy the ride.
Goalie in the history.
Oh gosh.
Nate Zuckerman.
Aaron Dell.
That would be up there.
There's still time to be a North Dakota Junior Champion. Kids 8th grade and under get your free membership to the official Kids Club of UND Athletics by signing up at any U.S. Bank location in North Dakota or the Red River Valley. Membership includes a t-shirt, free admission to every women's hockey home game, every men's and women's basketball home game, and discounts to select men's hockey games. Sign up for free at any U.S. Bank location in North Dakota or the Red River Valley and be a North Dakota Junior Champion.
Visit your local Subway restaurant and pick up a ticket discount coupon for the Subway Holiday Classic against Nebraska Omaha, November 28th and 29th at the Route.
North Dakota basketball is almost here and big game plans are back. Secure your big game plan and lock in seats for the most anticipated games. Get 4 big games for defending Big Sky champions UND women's basketball, including the home game with Minnesota for only $30. North Dakota men's basketball big game plans include 4 key Big Sky Conference games, also for only $30. Purchase your big game plans online at UNDsports.com or in person at Ralph Engelstedt Arena.
UND Insider Weekly is sponsored by Shields and Grand Forks Cities Area Transit.
This weekend, the Subway Holiday Classic is back as the men's hockey team takes on Nebraska Omaha. The action gets started at 7:30 Friday, 7 o'clock Saturday, and ticket discount coupons are available at Subway restaurants in North Dakota and Northwest Minnesota. Welcome back, and a welcome to Dane Jackson, UND assistant hockey coach, after a trip to St. Cloud this past weekend and loss on Friday and a win on Saturday, Dane. And I don't know, give us your evaluation on the entire weekend as a whole.
We were a little disappointed with our kind of readiness and mentality. The last 2 weekends, I kind of thought on Friday we were, we weren't bad, but we weren't kind of as intense and kind of dialed in as we needed to be against good teams. And then, we got a extra bump on Saturday because we're ticked off that we lost and played real well on the Saturdays, but that's not going to be good enough to just be getting splits. We need to, no reason for that. We got to improve our kind of consistency of kind of readiness and mentality to make sure that we're on the edge of playing our best and not just playing pretty good, because pretty good is not going to win you many games in our league.
Is that what was going on Friday night? First 5 minutes, you totally dominated them, but you really didn't get much close to the net. Can you kind of tell from that you're playing well, but you're not getting
when you're not
good chances?
Yeah, you're not completing plays, and I thought the rest of the game we didn't have that many great scoring opportunities. We really grade chances for and chances against is a real big kind of stat that we look at, and it was one of our worst nights of the season. Chances for, we generated very little and gave up quite a few, and a lot of it was through turnovers. I think we had like 28 turnovers, and that's a big thing. All of a sudden you're giving up possession and they're getting to play in your end. So I thought we were a lot better, started right in the dot. We started winning draws. That's the first battle of every shift, is your face-off, and we were much, much better there. And I kind of think that kind of sets a mentality for the shift. We won a first battle, got a puck, and started playing a lot more in their zone, and got a lot more pucks at their net. Not a lot of, we didn't complete a lot of our fancy plays, but we got enough pucks to the net that we got rebounds and chances, and that was a good job.
Sometimes you see a 3-on-0 go, no goal.
Yeah, I know. I think the last time I saw that was when Hack and Perron were playing defense, and we gave up a 4-on-0 against Minnesota down in at the old St. Paul Civic Center.
That was 5-on-0.
5-on-0, okay.
I hear what Hack says. I remember 5-on-0, that's for sure. Brad, what do you think?
Trevor Olson comes back into the lineup on Saturday. Tucker Poolman up at forward. Talk about some of the adjustments that you guys made for that game. Obviously, Bryn Chiswick going out forced you to make one of them.
Yeah, Bryn was actually playing well on Friday night, and we were elevating him up in the lineup. I think he just had 1 or 2 shifts with a higher line, and then he got hurt, so that was too bad because he'd been playing well and playing with pace. But we have decisions to make on the back end. We got a lot of guys that can play and do a good job, and we wanted to get Mats in there, and we just couldn't see having Pooley sit on the bench. He's such an athlete and creates things, and did a really nice job. Gave him a quick tutorial on forward, and someone had reminded us that he played a little bit in high school, so that was his sophomore year in high school. I guess he played up front a bit, but he did a great job, and our fourth line really kind of stepping up and playing with energy. It wasn't high skill plays, it was just getting pucks in and getting pucks to the net and causing some chaos, and try to get our D activating and joining a little bit more on our second night. They're such a huge part of our offense, getting them involved. Troy Stetcher did a nice job, and I thought that was a big part of us getting a few more opportunities, was getting our D-core activated.
What do you expect from Omaha? I mean, there's times when you think they're going to come out and they're going to go up and down with you, and the Blazers a few times pulled a few cute ones on you a little bit, I think, and jam things up a little bit. What do you expect from them from what you see?
Yeah, they normally they transition really well. They get guys flying and heading towards our zone on any type of turnover, so you got to be really sharp to not let guys get behind our defense. But they transition well and play fast. I think that's been a mark of Blazers teams all the way along. He always says, hey, let's go fast, let's get pucks to the net, and let's be aggressive offensively. And I'm sure we'll see a lot of that again. They're playing well. They got great goaltending and being quite disciplined, and they're playing a good, solid game right now. And you got some guys up front that can make plays, so we got to be ready for it.
It's a pretty young team too. A lot of young players. I'm sure you saw a lot of them in the USHL too. Some of their guys had huge USHL careers.
Yeah, they've done a good job recruiting, and some of those guys are having a nice start for them. So it'll be a good test. It always adds a little extra fire when you get Blazer back in the building, and hopefully we won't get booted out of our building. That wasn't right last year, and we're excited. It's always fun to have a guy who coached us and has meant so much to our program back in our building. We're excited to have him. It always makes for a great rivalry. I know he'll have his boys flying high, so we better be ready to go.
Dane, have a great Thanksgiving. Thanks for joining us today.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Dane Jackson, UND assistant hockey coach. And after the break, UND football season ended the year with 2 great wins. Defensive coordinator Eric Schmidt will join us to wrap up the season. That's next.
We play to win, but it's bigger than winning. It's about authenticity, being true to yourself, genuine dreams and a country big enough to fit them, values and hard work, giving your best and giving back, working together, building a tradition bigger than any one of us, and showing the world every day who we are and how we play. We're Big Sky. We are the heart of the American West.
Living the dream, buddy.
Cities Area Transit. We go where you go.
Did you know that riding the city bus is free for UND and Northland students?
I ride the bus so I don't have to find a parking spot, and then I'm always within an easy walking distance to all of my classes.
I'm going green, so I ride my bike everywhere. But when the weather turns bad, I take the bus. And why not? It's free.
Cities Area Transit. Enjoy the ride.
This Thanksgiving, what will you remember? Will you be watching your favorite team win? Will you score the winning touchdown? Will you thank God for moments with loved ones? Will you be eating Grandma's famous stuffing? This Thanksgiving, we choose to not open our doors so our customers and associates can spend time with family. So what will you remember? Happy Thanksgiving from all of us at Shields.
This weekend, the women's hockey team finishes up their 4-game homestand with a series against St. Cloud State. Game time 2:07 both Saturday and Sunday. Get your tickets at the Ralph Engelstad box office or online at UNDsports.com. Well, back from a 33-14 win over Northern Colorado, North Dakota closed out their football season with a 5-7 record, and defensive coordinator Eric Schmidt is with us to talk about what we were just discussing earlier in the program, Eric, what I think was a pretty good season. Can you evaluate from your perspective and lighten up a little bit here? It was a pretty good year, wasn't it? 5 wins?
Yeah, we finished it the right way. I think that was something that was pretty important for us. We really thought November was going to be a critical time for us. We knew that we were going to be playing for pride, and that it was going to be important that our guys continued to develop. So I thought the end, the last 2 weeks, and just how our guys went about their business day in and day out really set hopefully a good trend here going into the winter season.
You find out a lot about your team in situations like this, don't you?
No question. I think you find out a lot about the character of guys. I mean, it's easy to play when you're winning, when you're playing for something, all those types of things. But it's hard to go out there and play hard and lay it on the line when when we were 3-6 or whatever it was at that time. And our guys really did a good job, I thought, of buying in, continued to listen to the message, and really prepared well, throughout the season, and they got paid off there with some dividends and some wins there late in the year, and that was important for us.
With the offense kind of late in the year, their ability to run the football, how much did that help your defense maybe get a rest, or just does that impact how you guys play defensively?
Huge. I think we were really disappointed at Northern Arizona how we finally got a lead, and how we performed in the second half of that game. But our offense steadily got better and better and better, and obviously with our offensive line and Jer and those guys, just it's a process to be able to gel. But when you're sitting up there on defense and you're able to watch the offense and watch them wear down another defense and make the adjustments you have to make, I think it's not only good for us as far as from a rest standpoint, number of plays standpoint, but I think it gives some energy and some belief to our guys that, hey, if we get the ball back to our offense here, they're doing something with it. You know what I mean? So let's do what we can here to do that. And I thought late in the year we did a better job, especially on Saturday, of playing team football, where we took the ball away a few times, our offense went down and scored with it. So I think that's how we want to play here in the future, is be able to play physical, run the ball, take our shots when we want to take on offense, and then really feel like there's no reason you can't play a championship defense day in and day out.
Coach, year one for this coaching staff, you guys come in and you want to kind of set everything kind of the way you want to, so you move guys around on the defensive side of the ball. Maybe they weren't playing in the same place. You aren't afraid to go to some young guys on the defensive side of the ball, or even on the offensive side of the ball. When you look at all that, when you're moving those pieces around, how did you feel the guys on the roster did this year with all those different changes and how they accepted things and got into their new roles?
Well, I thought it was pretty positive. For the most part, I think most of the guys understand, what we're looking for from an offensive standpoint and from a defensive standpoint. We really want speed on defense and guys that can run. We don't, we don't hide that fact that we're not probably the biggest team in the Big Sky, but yet, we were pretty successful against the run this year just because we felt like we had guys that could move their feet and run around, so that was good. And then offensively, I think, we took our nose guard, moved him to offensive guard, and he did a heck of a job for us. I think he was a leader in that position and did a good job and helped us run the football. So ultimately, our guys were, they were for it. I think most of the time it's an opportunity for those guys to get on the field. So most of the time they're going to be for that. So it was a positive.
Or statistically, you guys were right up at the time and looked at the final stats, but you were up there in scoring defense. You're up there in all kinds of defensive categories. I mean, tackles for losses, sacks, turnovers, all that. If there's one thing that you're sitting back in this offseason going, we have to turn this around, does third down situations, does that come to mind, or what would it be?
Yeah, third and long was not a good down for us, especially late in the year. It's weird because as you start to look at it and evaluate it, you say, hey, what are some other teams doing, and that kind of stuff. And I think we were second in our league in third down conversion rate. We're at about 35%, and you'd really like to be 7 out of 10 on third down, and that's something that we'll go to work at hard here and look at what we're doing and what we're calling and what we can do better on third down. But yeah, we did some good things. We were good on first and second down mostly throughout the year. I think the longest run we gave up all year long was 37 yards, so that was a positive as far as not giving up a lot of rushing yards. And if we can improve third down, especially late in the year, I think we can become a more complete defense.
All right, Eric, take a breath and then go back to work, right, for next season,
That's
spring
right,
and next season, right?
Yeah, we'll get out on the road here and keep trying to work to improve our roster.
Thanks for being with us, Eric.
Thanks, Tim.
Eric Schmidt joining us on the program today. And coming up, in the spirit of the holidays, the panel will tell us what they're thankful for and what they're looking forward to. That's all coming up next.
UND Insider Weekly is sponsored by Shields and Grand Forks Cities Area Transit.
Visit your local Subway restaurant and pick up a ticket discount coupon for the Subway Holiday Classic against Nebraska Omaha, November 28th and 29th at the Ralph. Welcome back to UND Insider Weekly. What are we looking forward to this week, guys? Lots of stuff going on for the holiday weekend. Tom?
I'll say the men's basketball team out in Utah. Disappointing result at South Dakota State, but the fact that they had a 17-point lead might, be a good sign. So, how this team keeps progressing will be interesting to watch there.
North Dakota, Nebraska, Omaha, and men's hockey here at home. When haven't they played exciting games? Both teams want to get up and down the ice, and I think we're going to see lots of scoring chances, lots of action, and with Dean Blaze's team back in town here, always a good series. I'm looking forward to that.
Paul, how about you?
For me, obviously, men's basketball. I'll be out there. The last several years, we've been on the road for Thanksgiving. 2 years ago was at Hawaii. Can't beat that. Aloha. Last year was in Eugene, Oregon, which was interesting. This year out in Salt Lake City, where Utah is hosting their event, and 3 games, so that'll be interesting. The only other thing I'd like to see possibly this weekend is how UND women's hockey continues to progress. They've been giving up some late goals in games. It'd be nice to see them kind of move past that and collect a couple of wins at home at the Ralph.
I'm looking forward to UND, Nebraska, Omaha, and hockey here at home as well. See how many times Coach Blaze switches goalies, if he does that. And I'm wondering, they've had some pretty good success early in the season, Brad, and they're a young team. They got a lot of young kids on the team anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Blaze will try not to get ejected this time, like last,
That's right. He got
last season.
last
You
time
got
here,
the boots here, so...
I don't know what he said, but as Zane McIntyre would say, that's against the rules. All right, thanks, guys. Catch a new episode of UND Insider Weekly next Wednesday at 8 on UNDsports.com and Friday at 5 on Midco Sports Network.